What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Comedian and actor Dave Chapelle has been under a lot of scrutiny over the last 30 days over that stand-up he did, I believe it was in October, on Netflix, which many people in the transgender community was very offended by it. And because of that, we saw the back and forth between, those who supported Dave Chapelle. We saw Netflix take a stand to keep the comedy special on its server. And we've seen the country be divided between those who support Dave Chapelle and those who believe he's a bigot. Now, his alma mater, the Duke Ellington School of the Arts in Northwest D.C., they wanted to rename the theater after him. Did the school announce that it would postpone a ceremony to rename the theater after, there was some backlash from students and the staff over the remarks regarding his Netflix stance, right? His whole comedy special. So now you're having not only the staff, but teenagers. 15 and 16-year-olds, okay? So, now, those who hate him and those who dislike him, this is what Dave Chapelle has said to those people, all right? For those of you who object for me receiving this honor, I urge you to donate to the school, noting your objection, okay? If you don't want to be named after me, I urge you to donate to the school and you name it what you want it to be named, all right? And this is what Dave Chapelle was saying. He even went back and forth with some students on Instagram and things like that. And you know what? I really want to talk about this because, I believe that the school theater will be named or will be postponed. I'm not sure. Okay? But I want to say this. There's so many people, in the black world. There's so many people in the world today that have a lot to say about what they don't want. And then Dave Chapelle calls him to task. Well, since you don't want me, you go ahead and donate some money to it, and then you call it what you want. Since, I'm not good enough for this stadium or this theater to be named after. And what do you typically hear? I'll tell you what you hear. Silence. Now, D.C. is predominantly, always been a black city, and I believe Northwest D.C., which is not too far from Howard University. Now, there is some gentrification going on, but most of the students are black, okay? And Dave Chapelle, as far as legally or illegally or hate speech-wise, he has done nothing to any group. He has not disrespected transgenders when it comes to discrimination. He has not had any attacks on them based on, their sexuality. He's only dealt with the LGBT community or the trans community based on the power that they have or what he perceives to be a power over other groups. That basically the transgender community has more power or more say-so or more pull than the black community, when the black community is supposed to be a protected group, yet the transgender community, they have special rights and privileges. That's the only thing that he's dealing with. He's dealing with a concept. But again, as we see, people have a hard time when you deal in concepts. And a lot of times people want to go ahead in America and say, well, it's not how you say it. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. So you can put it in any way. But the fact about it is this. If people don't like what you have to say, they're going to try to make it hate speech. They're going to make it an ad hominem. They're going to try to stop your progress. Okay? But for those students at that school, we know that the people who don't like Dave Chapelle, they're not going to do shit to give any money. They're not going to bring any resources. All they want to do is play Monday morning armchair quarterback, run their mouth, talk a lot of trash, and be mad. You even have some of these students talking trash to Dave Chapelle. Okay? So, what his response is, if you don't want me to do it, then why don't you do it? And I think that's the best attitude to have. Because a lot of people want to cancel folks, especially especially people who have been successful. You know, we even have that problem in the black community ourselves. You know, people think a little bit different than we do. We want to cancel them. You know, we want to have an issue with them. And then we forgot that the people who want to cancel somebody don't have no resources. The people who talk the loudest won't never give you a damn dollar. I mean, you guys know, go to Black America, go to any black city. You will hear everybody with the microphone that got an opinion. Ask to bring some money. Hey, them people quiet now. And see, people in our community, especially in the black community, again, there's a more talking and a lack of doing. So put your money up. You want these things. You don't want me here. You donate your money. You know, if it's to the trans community, whether it's black or non-black, or if it's to the black community or those who have problems, you bring the resources since, you know, you don't like what I had to say. Even though I'm a legendary comic, I went here. He probably gives money to the school to help renovate things and do things. Okay, so you do it. And we all know what's going to happen. They're not going to do it. Okay? They're not going to do it. Because talk is cheap. And I want to urge people, and this is even to myself, for those of us that are from Black America or from the inner city, when things go on in the country, we talk about how we don't like the Democrats. We talk about how you don't like Trump. Whatever your political decisions are, I don't care. All right? But at some point, are you going to be a part of the change that you want to see? All right? And I want to shout out to our brother Leo Johnson, who's on the channel Focus to Liberia. What do you expect your community to be as a result of your participation? I want to say it again. This is very important. This is urgent. What do you expect Black America, your neighborhood, your school systems to be as a result of your participation? Meaning that you got to get your hands dirty. Meaning that you got to get your stuff dirty. You're going to have to put in energy. Sometimes you can't throw money at a situation, but you got to put in energy. You have to put in work. And I'm talking to black men and black women on this channel because this is Celebrity Junk. What do you expect your community to be as a result of your participation? Because see, in the black world, we have a lot of talk. You know, I've been to Africa several times, and you know, and I don't get involved in African politics. You know, for fear of my own safety when I'm in Uganda or other places, because it works differently. There's no freedom of speech. But when you do hear these people that have these underlying talks, and you hear them in Ubers and in cabs and things like this, and what the government is doing, but you never hear what do they want these countries to be as a result of their participation. So for the haters, I'm asking you that have a problem with Dave Chapelle at Duke Ellington High School, what do you expect this theater to be as a result of your participation? Okay? Because your opinions don't bring resources. Your opinions don't bring new cameras or new computers that Dave Chapelle can bring. They don't bring anything. All you can bring is your mouth. And we need to stop being able to just, you know, have so many opinions about everything. And what are we going to actually do? So if we don't want this person there, if we don't want this person to be there, then fine. We'll put the money up to go get somebody else. This is what other groups do. Jews, Hispanics, Indians. They say, okay, we don't want this person here. Here's why. But here's an alternative. This is what we want to bring to be taken serious to bring this agenda. And you're not going to see that here. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I really appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell. Check out the first company at the top. And as you know, the buffoonery remains at an all-time high. I'm out.